everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WOCReader, and welcome welcome back to my channel. So the other day was the midpoint of the year, and I was just like looking back on my reading this year, and it's been one of my most slow reading years, and I have a lot less standout books this year, and I was thinking, what other books am I looking forward to for the rest of the year? Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that intrigued me, a lot of the stuff I was interested in already dropped for the year. And there's just like but a handful of things that from this point forward have not released yet that I'm still looking forward to. And I figured, let me get on here and share it with you guys. Maybe you might not have heard of these books, although some of them I've mentioned a few times. Or if you heard of them, maybe you need a reminder that they're releasing. So let's get into it. I'm just going to start with the books that are coming out in July. So the first three books that I'm going to talk about are all coming out on July 29th. This is Bones at the Crossroad by Ladarian Williams. So I enjoyed Blood at the Root. Like, I had a good discussion with Shay last year about it. I feel like there were a lot of varying opinions of it. Some from people who didn't actually read the book or didn't get that far into the book. Some very interesting. I was listening to so many different voices. I feel like this was one of those books that people were talking about last year. So I'm curious to see what he's done in the sequel, how his writing has improved, what story, like there's little pieces of the storylines that were left open from book one. Interested in seeing how he ties things up. There were some secrets that got revealed and some secrets that were still being kept. So I'm looking forward to Bones at the Crossroads to give me the answers. A Mastery of Monsters by Liselle Sambury. So this is one of those dark academia quest/competition books. I haven't been reading a lot of dark academia, and to be honest, the ones that I have read this past year I wasn't that impressed with, as far as like the world building, the magic. Some of them, they weren't like magical, like even those like the more thriller ones, it didn't give as much as I wanted to give. But I'm always curious when it comes to some of these stories to see people's interpretations and see if there's going to be anything different. I think this one is not so much like about being surrounded by all white people like the majority of the ones that I read were, and that's definitely caught my attention. And I've heard great things about how Liselle does her world building and her magic and just getting you like really invested in the character stakes. So this is going to be my first read from her, and I can't wait to find out what she's going to give. Blood Slaves by Marcus Redmond. I've heard a lot of really good things about this from early readers. A couple of people I know kind of dropped off of this one because like the violence was a lot at the beginning. Like, it is set during slavery time, so he really does bring it home. Like, these are some gruesome acts that these evil white people have been performing towards these slaves. And so I know that the first like several chapters is going to be pretty heavy. I'm so interested in what he brings to the vampires in this world, especially because I believe this one is a trilogy, so there's lots of room for like a really expansive lore. And I know he comes from a Hollywood film background, so I'm interested to see how that reflects on page. Thankfully, there's not a lot of books coming out in August and September that I'm really anticipating. That will give me the chance to actually catch up on my backlist and some of the arcs that I have like sitting on my shelf that I haven't gotten a chance to read yet because of mood, because of time, energy, whatever. I am really interested in Family Spirit. It's by Diane McKinney Whetstone. The Philadelphia setting, to be honest, is what intrigued me the most, just because you don't see a lot of books set in Philadelphia. Like, not at least as much as I think you should, because it is one of the largest cities in the United States, and it is just like such a hub that so many people go in and out of all the time. And there is a good black population there too. So I'm like, yes, a black story about clairvoyance set in Philadelphia. I am very interested in it. And I've never read her work. I heard her writing is really good. So I haven't heard too many people talk about this one yet. I don't have an ARC. I don't know if I'll be able to get an ARC by then, but it's definitely something where I'm like, I'm gonna definitely request it from my library if I can't get it ahead of time. Going into September, we have Lauren Harper Falls Apart. This is by Shauna Robinson. So I met Shauna Robinson last year in March. We were at a book event in DC. She came out to support, and we had a little conversation. We were talking about her books, and I read her work before. I've read 2 of her books at this point. I've enjoyed her writing, and her publisher actually sent me an email like, here's a widget to this book since you've read and enjoyed her work before. This one intrigued me because it's like set during fall. It's not like a romance thing. It's more like this woman who's coming back to her small town and she's trying to save the fall festival. Her stuff is very much on the women's fiction side, which I enjoy a women's fiction from time and time. I don't read a ton of them every year, but the ones that I do read during the year, I usually enjoy. And I feel like this is perfect to usher in fall, which is my second favorite season. And I feel like I'm going to be seeing this on a lot more people's TBRs because of that. Blood and Breath. This is by, oh my gosh, I do not want to butcher this name. It is Qurratayn Muhammad. I'm gonna have to find out how she pronounces her name for a future video when I do talk about this one. I already reached out to the publisher. They are going to send me a copy, which is exciting. This is set in the 1920s, so like that Harlem Renaissance vibe that I'm always interested in. And this is a YA fantasy about a working class girl who brokers deals with the devil for people. So that caught my attention. I've been looking for a good 1920s set fantasy with black people, of course. There was a book last year that I thought that was going to give me the vibes I wanted. It didn't end up delivering the way I thought it would. So I have high hopes in this one. I hope it does not disappoint. All the stuff is just coming out in October. So we have Psychopomp and Circumstance by Eden Royce. This is a novella, Southern Gothic. A lot of people know Eden Royce solely for her middle grade work. I enjoyed Root Magic a lot. She's also written a lot of adult short stories. I have not read her Southern Gothic story collection. However, I did read a short story from her. I will see if I can find the link to link it in the description box for you guys, because I think it's worth checking out. It was a modern day witch story. It was like an urban fantasy short story about a witch who was also an author, and of course it was set in the South like all of her stories. So this is a Southern Gothic historical fantasy about a woman who goes away to the funeral of an aunt who was estranged from the family and discovers some secrets. I'm always here for a good black historical fantasy. This is pretty short too, so it should be a quick, easy read. I'll probably bang it out within the next month and come back with all the details. This is Huntsman by Naima Simone. It is a mafia romance, fairy tale inspired, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't really like read mafia romance like that. I know a lot of y'all love it. This is not my first one, but it's been a long time since I've read one. But I've been reading Naima Simone's stuff recently, and I've been enjoying it. I really loved Churchill, which obviously is like the complete opposite of this. I think I have a couple of her other books on my shelf, and this was something I saw, and I'm like, let me give that a try. Our Vicious Oats by Annie Davenport. So I read The Blood Trials. I enjoyed that series. I talked about it in the past. This one has been getting a lot of attention. I feel like everybody and their mom got an arc, and everybody and their mom has been eating it up. It is more on the romantasy side. It is heavy on the smut too. I'm reading it. I'm gonna report back. I don't know what to expect, because a lot of the people that I'm seeing like eating it up kind of have the opposite taste for me, so that worries me a little bit. And it is such a departure from the other things I've read from her, and I'm also not like a huge romantasy person in general, but I'm intrigued. I can't wait to dive in. I don't know what I'm gonna get, so we will see. So those are the most anticipated reads of mine for the rest of the year. Like I said, it's not a huge list. Like, obviously there's probably going to be some books that pop up here and there that pique my interest, but there's nothing like, oh my gosh, I have to read it, I have to form my opinion, I have to tell you guys all the things. These are those books. Let me know if any of these books are on your most anticipated reads list for the rest of the year, or since they are arcs, if you've read some of them already. Let me know in the comment section below. If you're not sure what to comment a star emoji. And if you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!